Welcome to The Schuby Show, where sports, movies, TV shows, technology, history, and more come to life. Now, please be seated and get ready for some more never-ending nonsense with yours truly, Schuby.
This is The Schuby Show with yours truly, Carson Schubert, and today we've got Lakers expert. We'll call him our Lakers expert here at the Schuby Show, and his name is Ben Manyango. And Ben, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man.
Good to have you on today, and ready to talk some Lakers and some Vikings. We'll talk a little bit of Vikings about at the end of the show, and as always, you can go to theschubyshow.com as we are finally getting things figured out on our website. And you should be able to go and check out my latest article on the Twins' possibilities that they could make some trades here before the trade deadline. I came up with some maybe cheaper options than what some other teams are interested in. So go to our website, theschubyshow.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all at The Schuby Show. And now, talking some Lakers with Ben Manyango. And Ben, taking a look here at the Lakers. Obviously, not a good season last year. It's been a few down years in a row. But we finally kind of got rid of that toxic ownership group between Mitch Kupchak and Jim Buss, and we welcome in a familiar face in Magic. What were your thoughts on getting rid of both of those guys and welcoming Magic in?
Well, at first I was kind of skeptical, but as time grew on, I think Magic really proved himself, to be honest.
Yeah, well, and he's got the experience too, with being in like this type of position with the Dodgers, and I know baseball is a lot different than basketball, but I think Magic is going to end up leading the Lakers down the path we want to go to hopefully get back to our winning ways. So, are you excited? Pretty well to have him back in LA.
Yeah, of course.
Do you think he'll be himself be an attraction for free agents, or do you think the Lakers might have to work back at getting free agents again? Because it seems like for a while we've been pretty not a very good destination for free agents, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be Lonzo's job. Like to me, when I see. I think it's like Lonzo's just an attraction by himself. His play style is going to attract free agents, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And just the way he's played so far in the summer league, and obviously the summer league's now come to an end, and the Lakers won even without Lonzo in the championship, which was pretty awesome, I thought. Even though it's summer league and it's basically like NFL preseason, but it was still good to see Lonzo just absolutely dominate everybody, really, all his competition, even though he skipped out on a game, I think, against De'Aaron Fox one time, and people were freaking out about that. But it's like, yeah, well, it's a summer league game. Lonzo, he'll see you in the NBA regular season.
Yeah.
So, do you think Magic can lead the Lakers though back to their winning ways, or do you think it's going to take more than just Magic's leadership?
Nah, I think Magic got this.
And of course, with Lonzo and Magic back, I think the Lakers next summer, whether we get LeBron or not, I don't think that's going to happen, but.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a lot more attractive of a free agent destination. We already saw that with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope signing with the Lakers. But last year, when we tried to get DeMar DeRozan, I think Kentavious Caldwell-Pope obviously is not as good as DeMar DeRozan, but he's a similar type player. They're both shooting guards. I think if it would have been this offseason that DeRozan was a free agent, I think the Lakers would have had a lot better shot of getting him than last offseason.
Than last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So going back to the draft now, do you think Lonzo Ball was the right selection for the Lakers? As of right now, it looks like he was, but I know you and some other guys were maybe clamoring for Josh Jackson, who's probably the best two-way player maybe out of the draft. He's just a hard-nosed, hard grinder. He's a hard worker. What were your thoughts overall on the Lonzo pick, and did you think they make the right selection?
Well, like as you were saying, like in the beginning of like draft speculation, I kind of thought that my first selection to pick was Josh Jackson, then was Fox, then it was Lonzo. But now I don't know why I was hating so much on Lonzo. Like I can see he's just a
baller,
a culture changer.
Yeah,
like man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's just crazy how I thought Fox and like Josh Jackson and Fox are outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
But now, in my opinion, I'm starting to think Lonzo is the best pick in the draft.
Yeah. Well, and I think one thing that Lonzo gets such a bad rap for, obviously, is his dad, LeVar, who should maybe be checked into a mental hospital. But Lonzo is – I think Lonzo's a good guy, honestly. Honestly, I don't even know if he likes his dad that much. I don't know if you saw that Foot Locker commercial where he was bashing his dad, but that was just hilarious.
Yeah.
So I think Lonzo is going to cherish, or he's going to want the spotlight, but I don't think he's going to be distracted by what his dad has to say or what his dad is doing. And I think Lonzo is going to end up being the right selection. He has just got so much talent, and it's more than just scoring and offense. He can go and play defense with the best of them too, I feel. I think maybe he won't be as good defensively in year one as he will be next year, but I think he's got potential to be an all-around superstar.
Yeah, definitely.
So, taking a look at the rest of the draft picks, what did you think about the rest of the draft for the Lakers?
Kuzma was a steal. Kuzma was the steal of the draft, in my opinion. And Hart, he's a decent shooting guard that can play defense. That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Thomas Bryant, just a athletic big man who can play some defense and score at the same time. So the draft was really well-rounded. And getting PJ Dozier,
Mm-hmm.
like to me, I really think he's not underrated, but I think he can grow and be better, but not to like. I think he could be decent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Lakers draft was probably the best, and I would say it's hard to not be the best when you have the number one pick, but I think a lot of those other picks, they're really a crapshoot, the rest of those picks, because you don't really know how those guys are going to pan out in the NBA. Usually you get the first 10 picks, and maybe not even this year. Some people say it was only like the first 6 guys, and then the rest of it was just like a big downhill slide. But I feel like there could be some late steals there by the Lakers, as you said, Kuzma, and I think Josh Hart has got a lot of heart, as that might sound a little bit funny, but I think he does have a lot of heart, and I believe he was on that, was he on the Villanova team that won 2 years ago?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he's got a heart of a champion, and Lonzo brings that mentality of putting the team first. I think he doesn't need to score. That's one thing with Lonzo. He doesn't need to score, but he will score if he has to, and he is more than willing to pass it over to a teammate. He's not a selfish player by any means.
Nah.
So taking a look now at actually before we do that, what would you say the overall draft grade is for the Lakers? A minus, B plus. Where would you put it?
I say B plus. Yeah,
B plus?
B plus overall. Yeah.
Is there one pick in particular that you think they maybe could have done better on?
Probably the Thomas Bryant pick. It could have been better, but still we got a solid player out of it, so I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah. Absolutely. So B+ here from Ben on the Lakers draft. And now take a look at the rest of the offseason, Ben. It's been a very interesting offseason for the Lakers, to say the least.
Yeah.
Obviously with the draft, but not only the draft, but with the trade of D'Angelo Russell and, of course, Magic coming on. I know you were pretty kind of disappointed getting rid of Russell, but I feel like we got a good center back in Brook Lopez. Yes, he's getting older, but we also got rid of a huge contract in that contract of who was that again? The center from
Mozgov.
Yeah, Timothy Mozgov. That was one of the worst contracts in Lakers history. It's got to be one of the worst. But anyways, we got rid of that contract, and honestly, I really liked D'Angelo's talent, but I feel like he was just too much of a distraction here in L.A.
Yeah, he was. Like, to me, I think D'Lo had the potential to be an all-star. But at the same time, I don't think having D'Lo would have attracted more free agents like Paul. I don't think Paul George. I think Paul George wanted to play with D'Lo, but like whenever you think of like DeMarcus Cousins coming into free agency or like others, I personally don't think that like the fit. I don't think like D'Angelo Russell fits for like some of these other players.
Yeah, and just from what you saw with Nick Young, Swaggy P, and the whole drama situation like that, I wouldn't be attracted to that if I'm going to be friends with a teammate and he's going to just like get into my personal life and do all that kind of crap. Then I'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to LA. I don't need to deal with this crap. So
yeah, man.
So yeah, I think this would definitely be. I think this will definitely be a helpful thing for the Lakers in free agency. Yes, they lose a talented player, as you were mentioning, but I think they get rid of a big contract and they get rid of D'Lo, who, yes, has talent, but at the same time also could be a guy that takes away from you getting free agents in 2018. So, taking a look at the Caldwell Pope signing, we kind of already have a shooting guard in Jordan Clarkson. But do you think Clarkson moves back to being point guard this year, or do you think Caldwell Pope comes out the bench? What do you think about the whole shooting guard situation right now for the Lakers?
Well, I think Caldwell Pope starts. And Clarkson goes back to his bench role.
So do you think Clarkson will come in as just a point guard, or will he come in as both a point guard and a shooting guard, or just shooting guard?
Yeah, I think he'll come in as both probably. But if we get Derrick Rose, then that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting right there, where Clarkson will be fitted in, where Caldwell Pope will be fitted in, where D Rose will be fitted in, but it'll add a lot of depth to our roster.
Yeah, what would you say if you had to make the choice? Would you sign Rondo or Rose?
That's tough. That is tough.
Yeah, I know.
I say Rose. No. I say Rondo. He's just a playmaker and he has like knowledge of the NBA. He has a strong personality. So yeah, I take Rondo over Rose right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough thing because I think both of them are past their primes. They've both been around the block a few times, and they're both, honestly, they're kind of similar. In some ways, I think Rondo is probably more of an all-around point guard playmaker, where Derrick Rose is kind of a shoot-first point guard, I think. So I would say if you're gonna try and have a backup point guard to Lonzo, assuming you're gonna start Lonzo right away, which they'd be foolish not to. I would say get Rondo, because I feel like Rondo is probably more similar to Lonzo Ball's skill set than what Derrick Rose is, in my opinion. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I would say that as well. Like Rondo, I think Rondo, he has a little bit of that pass first mentality. It's not like he doesn't want to score, but he's a good passer too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. So, any other predictions you have for the Lakers before the season begins, like free agency signings? Do you think they'll sign one of those guys over the other? And do you think there will be any big trades coming before the season gets underway from the Lakers?
I think Rose can sign. I give it like a 25% chance that Rose is gonna sign, and probably. Julius Randle, I think it's going to be a beast this season. I really think it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really have faith in Julius Randle. I know he's not really showed up so much the last couple of years, but he's just knocking on the door of potential right now. I think he's got it.
Yeah.
He's got it, but he just has not been able to put it through, and I think this year could be the year, and hopefully it is, because otherwise the Lakers might have to look somewhere else.
Yeah. If the Lakers want to get rid of Dang's contract, I'd say wait for Randle. If Randle has a good season, or like if he's playing good until the trade deadline, I see if the Lakers could package Randle and Dang and see who they can get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. What would you say is the best? Who's going to have the best season this year for the Lakers, other than Lonzo Ball? Who do you think? Is it going to be Randle?
I think it's going to be. It's a toss-up. I think it's going to be Randle. It's between the best season. It's going to be between Lopez, Randle, and Ingram.
Yeah, sometimes I forget about Ingram in the whole talk about what's going on with the Lakers and the Lakers roster. And do you still have quite a bit of faith in Ingram, or do you think that he's going to end up falling off?
Nah, I think Ingram will be our star player on this roster. Like without, like, I think if we give Ingram 3-4 years, I think he can be that superstar of a team. Like, I think he could really be like our cornerstone.
Yeah, be like that Kevin Durant, hopefully, like so many people compared him to before the draft. I don't know if it's going to be possible to be quite as good as Kevin Durant is, but if you can get anywhere close to that, that would be great. So, and then what do you think is a realistic expectation for this team? How many wins? You thinking maybe 40 wins and maybe just barely missing the playoffs, or do you think they actually have a realistic shot of making the playoffs this year?
I say 7th or 8th seed, to be honest. Like,
all right.
I think we had, like, it is some years when the Lakers like start off good, like 20-20, and then injuries happen, and then we just fall off. Mm-hmm. So I think if this year goes on and our team isn't full of injuries, I think we could actually like run the table to 7th or 8th seed, and then probably maybe get up the first round if we play good, but I don't know.
Yeah, that is interesting. You think 7th or 8th seed, even as young as this team is, you have confidence in them, and I honestly think I have confidence in them too. I just don't know for me what extent my confidence is in them yet. I think we realize too that the West is such a superior conference compared to the East, and it is so hard to make the playoffs. I mean, first of all, you basically got the first three already panned out. You've got Golden State, you got San Antonio, and you probably are going to have Houston. And then you've got probably Oklahoma City, even though I'm not a big Russell Westbrook fan. They'll probably be in there because of Paul George. And then you probably got Portland that'll be in there. And then and then I think Minnesota, the Timberwolves, I think they've got a good shot of being in there too after Jimmy Butler trade, getting Taj Gibson, getting Jeff Teague, getting Jamal Crawford to be his backup. The Timberwolves, their roster is absolutely loaded, I think, right now.
It's pretty good.
So it's going to be tough in that. It's going to be tough in the West, and you got Denver, who's still a young team, and they've got the ability to make the playoffs. I think they've got some good young pieces. So, So you're still pretty thinking that Lonzo could be leading this team to the playoffs. Do you think it's pretty much hands down that he's going to win Rookie of the Year?
No. This rookie class is too good just to let him get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. It's going to be a competition this year.
Yeah. Yeah, it is going to be tough. That is for sure. Do you think that he's going to be better than Markelle Fultz? Do you think the 76ers are going to regret that draft pick?
Yeah.
Because to me, he everybody says he's going to be really, really good. He's got all the skills and all that stuff, but he never really did much. I didn't think at the college level that. I mean, yeah, he there was some injuries and stuff, but I just felt like maybe they should have gone with Lonzo.
Yeah, to be honest, just watching them play, it's not like Lonzo's a far better player, but in my opinion, he's just slightly better than Fultz. I think Fultz could be good. Fultz could be nice, especially in Philly. He could be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think I just stick with Lonzo. To me, the Lonzo, I don't know. He's just been playing better than Fultz.
Yeah.
It's summer league.
Yeah, summer league wise, and I think Lonzo has lived in the spotlight basically his whole career so far. So I don't think anything's going to be too big for him. Where maybe Fultz, when you get to a team that's been struggling the last how many years with Philadelphia, and now all of a sudden you're supposed to come in and be that guy that puts your team over the hump. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that might have an effect on his season coming up here for Philadelphia. But what would you say would be a great way to describe the Lakers' season next year in one word? What would you say in one word describe the Lakers' 2017-2018 season?
You can say it's popular. I think or you could say it's gonna be an attraction.
Attraction.
I think a lot of people are gonna be. Yeah, I think lots of people are gonna be attracted. Even if we're not winning games, it's still gonna attract. It's just Lonzo that brings that attractive style to a team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Even if we're not winning that many games, I think people will still be attracted to the Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good word to use because, as you said, Lonzo, and you got Magic back in the building, kind of bringing that renewed sense of freshness and sense of, all right, we're back to the old style of Lakers. We're going to go out and win. We're going to try and compete for the playoffs, that kind of thing. And even if you don't make the playoffs, you're still going to draw interest because your team's got some young pieces that are very talented with Ball, with Ingram, with Julius Randle starting to get up there, but he's also got potential, again, of knocking on the door, of breaking out of what is holding him back from being really, really good. And then, of course, you got the addition of Brook Lopez, too, as a center that hopefully will be able to get some rebounds for Lonzo, and also I think it'll be interesting to see, Ben, how the pick and roll works between Brook Lopez and Lonzo.
Yeah.
So what would you say is going to be the biggest thing that Lonzo brings to his team? Obviously, he's an attraction for the fans and for the NBA and everything else, but for his team, maybe technically, maybe plays-wise, what would you say is the number one thing Lonzo Ball brings to the court?
I think he brings that Spurs mindset of actually like playing team ball. Like whenever you watch the Lakers for the past 2 years, it's kind of been a little selfish. Like either Randall's hogging the ball on the perimeter dribbling. Or either Clarkson wants to play a selfish ball, trying to take it to the hole by himself, or even D'Lo just putting up shots. Even Nick Young just putting up shots. But like now, I think Lonzo will bring like a Spurs mentality where it's actually team ball.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, Ben, I think it would have been a lot better if the Lakers, after Kobe retired, just let go of that whole Jim Buss deal and got rid of Mitch Kupchak and then brought Magic in at that time, because I feel like the Lakers would be a lot more set up to go out and compete this year than what they are now if they would have started that process last year already. So, but, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. We can't go back in time. So, anything else you want to say on the upcoming Lakers season other than it's an attraction? It's going to be an attraction for me to watch. I think every game you're just going to like, all right, I don't even care if the Lakers win. I want to watch Lonzo. I want to watch Brandon. I want to see what these guys can do. So, what would you, if there's anything else, what would you say about the Lakers this season, or anything else you want to say about the Lakers?
I think this season is going to be Randall's breakout year, and that Lonzo will add to, like, he's already getting better right now. So I think Lonzo will kind of add more fire, or what's it called? Eat the fire or whatever.
More chemistry.
I think Lonzo's gonna. I don't know. He's just gonna help him become what we thought he was gonna become.
Yeah, that might be interesting to see if Lonzo can help Julius Randle be better than what he already is. That would be awesome if he can enhance the play of others. That just will go to show you, as we both have said, how he plays team ball, and that's exactly what the Lakers need from their point guard. They need a team player, not a guy that's looking to go out and get 20 million triple-doubles in his career like Russell Westbrook. I mean, Lonzo does get triple-doubles in the Summer League, but I don't think that's his goal. His goal is to win the game and do it however is possible, where I think Russell Westbrook's kind of like, oh, I'm just here for me, But, the Lakers are going to be interesting this year just to see how they do. I will say they probably don't make the playoffs, but I think they might make a good run at it. I think they might give some teams you wouldn't expect them to give a run throughout the course of the season. Maybe get a couple upsets and give us that glimmer of hope for the future to come. So, let's close it out here, Ben, and talk a little bit of Vikings football, as training camp is just around the corner. It starts actually on Sunday, and the Vikings have possibly a huge quarterback battle if Teddy Bridgewater is available to play at some point during this training camp process, or available to play sometime during the preseason. Teddy's looked good in rehab, I think. He's been even doing things without his brace. Yes, we still have Sam Bradford, and that's where the quarterback competition could come into play. If Bridgewater comes back healthy and the doctors clear him, what do you say to the kid if he outplays Bradford? What do you do if you're the Vikings?
I mean, I still say give it some time. Like, even if he's cleared and he's all right and he's outplaying Bradford, I'd say still still be patient. Like, see what I think. I'd wait till like week 3 and see how Bradford starts off the season. Then I'll see if I can plug in Bridgewater.
Yeah. I just love Teddy so much. He is such a great person, such a great player, and everybody in the locker room loves him too. So we're all really rooting for him, and hopefully he comes back. And I'm honestly hoping that the Vikings still hope to have him as their long-term quarterback, because honestly, I think if they give Bradford a long-term extension, it's going to be one of the biggest mistakes of the Vikings franchise, honestly, because I just don't think Bradford is the quarterback that's going to win you a Super Bowl. Honestly, I don't. So I think Bridgewater has that capability of 2-minute drills. We saw that. We saw that in the Seattle game before we all know what happened. When Bridgewater led the Vikings down the field, they had the chance to win it, and it had nothing to do with Bridgewater's fault. Just couldn't win it because of that famous miss, of course. But I would say Teddy Bridgewater's got the capability of leading a team to a Super Bowl, where Bradford's never been over 500 for his career. He has never thrown for over 5,000 yards, and Bridgewater had, I believe, more yards in less pass attempts than Sam Bradford did last year. And I realize the offensive line and all that. And I know Bradford's been on bad teams, but sometime you got to say, Bradford, some of that's on you. Some of that's on you why your teams weren't so good. You didn't make the plays. You didn't do all this. So I don't know. I just feel like Bradford, yes, he's a solid quarterback. He's probably better than average, or at least in that average category. But I just don't think in today's league he's going to win you a Super Bowl.
I think Bradford could have a breakout season this year, because I think he was pretty decent last year. He wasn't all that good. You know, we had offensive line problems and no run game. I think he could have his best year in the NFL.
You think he?
If Bridgewater's not cleared to play, then Sam Bradford plays for the whole season, then I think he could have his best season of his career.
Well, I think he technically had his best season of his career last year, statistically, with the completion percentage record and only 5 interceptions and that kind of stuff. But I feel like it was hindered by not as many yards, and the passes were not very far down the field, and the Vikings were only 8-8.
Yeah.
So, I think Bradford has the capability of leading the Vikings to the playoffs. I just don't know if he's got the capability of leading them further than that, because I just feel like he misses that clutch factor. He doesn't have that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that mentality of, all right, I'm going to go down and win the game right here. So, I don't mind Bradford, but I just feel like Bridgewater is so much better in those situations.
Yeah, of course.
So other position battles that you think that we should keep an eye on here during training camp and the preseason. What would you say is maybe the number 1, number 2, and maybe number 3 position battle to keep an eye on?
I think 1, it's either between. I think 1 and 2 is a toss-up between linebacker and receiver, and 3, I think you could put. I don't know if I want to put running back that far ahead, because I think we already know that Dalvin Cook's going to be our guy, and we're going to have Murray, getting some snaps, and then McKinnon, a speedster, So I think it's between those 3. Toss up between 1 and 2 between receiver and linebacker, and then 3 running back.
Yeah, I think I could agree with you on the top 2. I would say I would put safety, the other safety spot opposite of Harrison Smith, at number 3, because that really concerns me. Especially, I mean, yes, you can have Rhodes covering the guy that is whoever is on that side of the field, so you maybe wouldn't need a great safety on that side, but at the same time, it's like, oh, geez, if Rhodes does somehow get burned on something, who are we gonna have back there to take this guy? Take whoever it is, maybe Odell Beckham or it's Julio Jones, whoever it is, But then I would say safety, and I would say special teams, kicker and punter. I'm a little concerned with both of those positions, just because I'm not sold on Kai Forbath really. I think there was a reason that he was a free agent for one thing. I think the Vikings, they got some good use out of him. He didn't miss a field goal, but he did miss 2 extra points that really had nothing to do with being blocked. There was 1 blocked, and I believe he just missed 2 on his own. So I think that concerns me a little bit, and I know he's battling with Marshall Kane from Iowa, and I think Marshall Kane actually has a shot to beat him. Marshall Kane's been showing pretty well from what I've heard at mini camps and that kind of thing. So hopefully he gives him a run for his money. And then punter, I think I'm more concerned about punter than kicker because I mean you got Taylor Semank who's in there, and then you've got Ryan Quigley who's battling in there for punter. So I don't know if I really trust either one of those guys, and I'm a little surprised the Vikings didn't draft a kicker or punter. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, in the later rounds, I think we could have. Oh, excuse me. We could have stole a punter because this draft class was really deep. I think we could have traded back. Wait, no, we already traded back a lot of times. So I think we had the extra picks to take one, but I don't think it was high on our draft board. I don't think it was a real. I don't think for Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer that it was like a real team need for us to get one. I think they're I think they think that they can develop these players into being good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say when you had that 7th round opportunity, I believe the Vikings had the opportunity to draft that Zane Gonzalez kicker from either Arizona or something like that, and he was supposed to be one of the best kickers in the whole entire draft. And they passed on him, and the Browns got him, and I was like, oh my goodness, how did you guys let him go? He's supposed to be really, really good. You gotta, and I guess, yes, they did have the competition, but at the same time, it's well, I don't know if the competition is top tier either. I mean, Kane, there's another reason why he was a free agent at the time when the Vikings got him too. So it's maybe go and get this guy who has the potential to be kicking the ball from 60 yards, where I think Kai Forbath's maximum is maybe 54 yards. And even that seems like it could be a stretch every now and then. So I don't know. It's an interesting position to keep an eye on, especially when it comes to clutch situations where we've had kicking issues before. So
even positions like kickoff return or punt return, I think those could be I think special teams could be make or break for our team.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think Sherrills. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to keep Sherrills around again this year.
Yeah.
Because he really doesn't do anything else. So I would get rid of him if it meant that we had a good replacement behind him, whether it's Rodney Adams or Dalvin Cook or Stephon Diggs or whoever it might be. I would like to see Stephon Diggs return punts.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah, because I think didn't he have experience of doing that in Maryland, or was that just kick returns?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think Stephon, put him back there for punt returns, and then maybe have Rodney Adams and or Dalvin Cook return kicks. Maybe something combination like that I think would be good.
Yeah, or McKinnon.
Yeah.
McKinnon could be nice back there, too.
Yeah, have McKinnon return some kicks. But I think one thing that people maybe don't think about, it is different receiving a punt than receiving a kick, because you got to, first of all, you go back, and then you've got to locate the ball, and sometimes the punter's kicking it more towards out of bounds, where a kickoff is usually pretty straightforward, and you don't really have to try and track it as much as you do a punt. And then a punt, you got to try and, when the punter's using all the hang time, trying to get the hang time, you got to try and get under it, and you got to make sure you get the proper angle, otherwise you're probably going to fumble the ball. And we've seen that with Adam Thielen when he's returned some punts, and some other people who have less experience too. So you don't want to put anybody back there that hasn't had any experience with it either.
Mm-hmm.
So, any other positions you think of before I ask you for a prediction for the season?
I think corner could be one of those positions that I think some younger players have, like what's it called? What's his name? The corner out of Clemson who adjusted 2 years ago.
Mackenzie Alexander.
I think Alexander. I think he's going to be ready to see more playing time this year.
Yeah, I hope so, because we had a lot of high hopes for him. He was a hard worker coming out of Clemson. He had a rough upbringing, and he worked really, really hard from where he was and all that stuff. But yeah, I think he's got the potential. It's just a matter of he seems like he's got that cockiness about him that almost can be a little bit too much cockiness. And I hope that doesn't end up hurting his career, because he's got the talent. He just needs to keep a steady head on his shoulders, I think. So hopefully he can do that, and hopefully Trey Waynes officially comes in and steps up as the number 2 cornerback behind Xavier, because Trey has made some plays, but he's also been a punching bag almost for some quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers. So
yeah.
So what are your real expectations for Trey Waynes this year?
I think he'll have his best season this year. I think he'll have his best season this year, but it's kind of tough when I'm watching Trey Waynes. It's like, I don't know. It's like he's a good corner. He just makes too many mistakes. And the mistakes he makes are costly.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that Green Bay game, like those fouls and those penalties, like it was getting too much. But then at the end of the game, he kind of saved us there. But still, I think if Trey Waynes can if he works on his fundamentals, and if he just goes hard this offseason, I think he has that potential to be the number 2 corner.
Yeah. Well, and one thing with Trey Waynes, his speed can make up for some of the mistakes he makes, but I think sometimes he tends to rely on his speed too much in coverage, where he's like, oh, well, if I messed up, then I can just catch up to him. And in the NFL, that doesn't necessarily work as much as it did in college.
Yeah.
So you got professional quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers in your division, Matthew Stafford, and you've got quarterbacks all around the NFL that once they see somebody's burnt you, then they're going to find them right away. It's I'm going to throw it to him now after the cornerback's had a chance to react. No, right away, once you see somebody's open in the NFL, the quarterback's throwing the ball. So it's a lot different in coverage-wise, and I think that's maybe why both Alexander and Trey Waynes have struggled here in the early parts of their careers, because they have trouble adapting to how good these NFL quarterbacks are. So hopefully this year they'll realize that, and hopefully their games go up to a new level. So Ben, before you go, I would like to get a prediction for you this year for the Vikings, record and a playoff finish, if there is a playoff finish in your prediction.
I say 9-7, and we lose the first round in the playoffs.
9-7 wild card, and we lose the first round. Does that sound right? Okay. Oh man, that sounds disappointing to me.
I think the Vikings have to. I think Dalvin Cook. If Dalvin Cook gets like 2 years of experience, then I think and our quarterback situation like gets stable. Then I think we can actually run the table like later in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah,
that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I think I would say probably. I would probably say somewhere similar to around that. I think the Vikings' absolute ceiling this year is probably what they were 2 years ago, and that was 11-5. I think that would be their ceiling this season, and I think their floor would probably be 7-9. I just don't see them being worse than 7-9. So that would be where I would put them. And I would actually probably put it somewhere in there, either making a wild card and getting eliminated right away, maybe winning one playoff game at best. But yeah, I just feel like this team has a few missing parts yet that could end up holding it back. Well, but we'll see. Maybe that defense will end up playing like it did those first 5 games the entire season. So. Anything else you want to say on the Vikings before I let you go?
Our O-line, man. Once we get our O-line situated and Dalvin Cook gets some experience and Teddy Bridgewater comes back and the defense is playing good and, like, we have some young pieces on defense that are playing good and our linebacker position is figured out, then I think like we could actually be a good team, a great team in the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that same way. We just need to keep not thinking about the future all the time. I think that's the problem sometimes with the Vikings. They're too worried about the future instead of trying to get those pieces to help now, because the Vikings window actually is closing, I believe, because you got some of these defensive players that contracts are going to be up, and you're not going to be able to re-sign everybody because you got Barr, you got Kendricks, you got Diggs, and you got Bradford, who's going to probably want a big contract if you decide to give it to him. But Bridgewater, you're going to have to give him a contract, and you're going to have a lot of contracts coming up soon. And the Vikings are going to have to start thinking about, okay, well, we need to actually try and put all the chips in here and try and win it all, because pretty soon we're not going to have an opportunity to do it. So. Yeah,
definitely.
So, but we'll see. We'll see if the Vikings can make some noise this year in the NFC North and not start strong and then finish terribly. We want a steady season, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, well, Ben, I think that's going to do it. I believe you can. Is your name your Twitter handle on Twitter?
Hmm. At Humble Ben.
At Humble Ben on Twitter. I had to check just because I know you like to change your Twitter handle every now and then.
Yeah.
So you can follow Ben Manyango on Twitter at Humble Ben. And that's 2 N's on Twitter. And he's a Lakers fan. He's a Vikings fan. And you have a couple other teams you like too, Ben. So what are those teams? If we have a couple of those listeners from those teams out, maybe they can tweet you and ask you some questions.
Yeah, Lakers, Vikings, then Kansas basketball, Oregon football, Dodgers baseball, and Kings hockey.
All right. So if you like any of those teams and you got a question about one of those teams, go to Twitter and talk to at Humble Ben with 2 N's on Twitter, and you can talk to him about those teams if you got any questions about any of that. Well, Ben, I appreciate you joining me, and we'll maybe have to talk a little bit about the Lakers once the season gets started.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good season for the Lakers and hopefully for the Vikings. Because we cheer on our purple and gold, right? Wherever we go.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ben. Well, I appreciate it, and you have yourself a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too, bro. God bless.
You bet. Appreciate it. Again, that's Ben Manyango. You can follow him on Twitter at HumbleBen. That's 2 N's. And he's a Lakers fan. He's a Vikings fan. He's a Kansas basketball fan. He's a Ducks football fan, Oregon Ducks. And also, as he said, he's a Los Angeles Dodgers baseball fan. So plenty of teams that he has there. So if you're a fan of one of those teams, feel free to ask him a question on Twitter. That is going to do it for this week's edition of the Schuby Show. Next week, I have to figure out what's going to happen next week. There might not be a show next week, actually. We are kind of in the dead parts of summer right now. But if there is a show next week, I might just be doing a solo show. I did see Spider-Man Homecoming, so I might do a review of that next week, which I think would be interesting. And I'm not going to give any spoilers away on this episode. But check back next week, and I might be doing a Spider-Man Homecoming review of the movie that I saw on my birthday weekend last weekend. So please come back and check it out maybe next week if we have an episode. If we don't, then we'll see you in 2 weeks. But also don't forget to check out on theschubyshow.com. I wrote an article about 5 trade possibilities, as in players mainly, 5 players the Twins could and should target because I feel like those players are pretty solid upgrades for the Twins, but I also feel like they are not break-the-bank upgrades either. So please take a look at that article on theschubyshow.com, or you can go to our Twitter account or Facebook account or Instagram account and find us at The Schuby Show, and we posted about the article on both of those. I think I retweeted it on our Twitter page, shared it on our Facebook page, and made an Instagram post on that. So please check out the article. And thank you for checking out this episode number 18 of The Schuby Show. We will see you next time. Skol.
Thanks for listening to The Schuby Show. We hope you mildly enjoyed yourself with more never-ending nonsense with yours truly. For more nonsense, go to the website, theschubyshow.com. Get the show on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. Until next time, Skol.